It can't be. It's that time already?
You bet it's that time. It's signing day.
Oh, Neely Grantham, TRA softball superstar. I knew you always gonna have a signing day. But.
Yep, it's class of 2025. It's time for us to secure our college futures.
I guess it's y'all time to shine, but it's y'all time to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, and we're already on the class of 2025.
I'm going to go ahead and get started. First of all, welcome everybody to Tipton-Rosemark as we do this for the third time in about a month and a half, which is awesome. As we recognize Emma and her signing with UT Southern to continue her softball and academic careers. Those of you that don't know what that is, that used to be Martin Methodist, and now the UT system has taken it over. So I know a lot of the stuff they say when she graduates, she'll have a diploma that says University of Tennessee, which if you're a Tennessee person, that's a big deal. I have one of those too. Not such a big deal to me, because I'm an Alabama fan, obviously. But Emma came to TRA. I guess she came visit like fall break of her freshman year. And I think she maybe had an injury from the fall or something from the summer before, and so we kind of worked on that. She worked, and she was played for our JV team that first year, and I got some JV. That first season, she was 5-0 with a 3.17 ERA. She had 32 strikeouts in 17 innings in our JV games. She was like I think she's probably the only left-handed pitcher we've had, really. It was kind of wild, herky-jerky motion, and it just keeps people off balance. It really does. She hits spots, and it's just different. Those of you that play, you know, from a left-handed pitcher, something's just different. And it was prototypical left-handed. I'm a lefty, so I can talk bad about it when I say stuff like this. But she's a prototypical left-hander, if you know what that means. Just movement, hitting spots, and just really misses barrels. She misses barrels. Her sophomore year comes out, and we lost a pitcher to graduation, and we had another injury early in the season. And so that made her step up. Her and Lanie pretty much had to take over all the pitching duties. And she was obviously one of our main varsity pitchers that year. That season, she was 8-5 with a 4.34 ERA and 54 strikeouts in 59 innings pitched. So she's right there about strikeout an inning, which is really good. Beat some really good teams that year. I kind of went back and looked at the stats of different teams. There's a bunch of them here that won't mean a whole lot to a lot of you guys, so I kind of left them out. But one of the best ones, I said one of the best performances, I think, was actually not a win, it was a loss. And I know y'all think, how in the world? But it was actually in the state tournament. Actually in the state tournament game against Baylor. It was like four or five innings, I guess. Of just, I think they scored 2 runs, but it was a really, really good performance against one of the best teams in the state, the best team in the state. Going into her junior year, I think it's kind of, we see this a lot between those first 2 years, like something clicks and the effort, the hard work just picks up. And she did that, and up to that point, I don't know that she was, I don't know if she didn't work on it. She wasn't as much of an offensive threat at that point, but this year she started working on every single aspect of the game. And we noticed it as coaches. We're like, man, she is really swinging the bat now. She's really swinging the bat now. We knew the pitching was going to be there. At this point, she started to develop as a hitter. But really, it was just constant work, because this is what she wanted. And that the results for her junior year were 82 innings pitched. She was 9-3 on the season with 60 strikeouts and 3.41 ERA. From the offensive side, she put that extra effort in. She hit 314. She had 33 hits, 16 runs with 14 RBIs, and of course we got her home run. This is her home run at Baylor, which you know that is amazing. I've never seen. I say a lot. She's like one of the slowest skinny people that you'll ever see. But that day, she was flying. I don't know if she touched the bases because she was jumping the whole time. It was like everybody on our side of the field was extremely excited. It was amazing. So that was a huge home run. Also, like I said, she's a movement pitcher, hits spots and misses barrels, but she's also the only pitcher that I've allowed, I guess with Allie, to call their own pitches. I don't like to give that up. I mean, that's kind of one of my things. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to trust a 14 to 18-year-old to do this. But she and Allie came to me, I think it was the Brentwood game, sub-state game 2 years ago. She was like, Allie said, can I call her pitches? And I'm like, heck no. She's like, we've been doing this forever. I promise you. I was like, okay. You get one, I think I maybe said you get one base runner. If you get a base runner, you're done. I'm calling them again. And they're like, okay. And yeah, I think it was, I said either 1 out or one base runner, whatever I said. Haven't called a pitch since for there. So it obviously worked. Allie and Emma worked well together, I guess because they've been doing it so long. She's a tough, I use gritty, tough gritty player who also likes to have fun. She likes to have fun a lot. Which I don't have a problem with as long as she does what she's supposed to do, and she does. I think it's good to stay loose like that. She has no problem staying loose, right? And that hard work and all determination and just playing loose like that has earned her this opportunity today. We're extremely excited for her, and on behalf of our coaching staff and our administration, our athletic department, our softball team, who weren't all able to be here today. Congratulations. Super proud of you. You'll open up that. You got a couple things to sign, and all right. I'm going to give you the floor. You're welcome to speak now.
So thank you everyone for being here. Thanks to my coaching staff for pushing me, and thank you Miss Addie. She's not here, but thank you for getting me through all my little mental breakdowns throughout the year, softball and non-softball related. And thank you Coach Mark for being there and toughing me up since I was 11 and making me cry every time. And obviously thank you to my parents. Thank you to my dad for coaching, being my first real coach and pushing me in the backyard. And Mom she tried her best. She didn't really know that much about softball. She did what she could, and yeah, this is good. Thank you guys.
Hi, it's Thomas Sells Jr. here with another signing day. Very special day on campus of Tipton-Rosemark. Emma, you're heading out to UT Southern. Softball, how does it feel?
It feels really good. I feel really accomplished, proud of myself that I made it this far.
Now, the little girl from, parents from Millington, you spent some time down in Mississippi. So I'm going to say, little girl from Mississippi, did you see yourself going to play college softball one day?
I mean, I've always had that dream to go big, but you never think it could actually happen. I've always had that dream to play on the next level, but I mean, I was just wanting to play softball, just a little girl wanting to do what she loved.
Okay, so that love was tested a few years ago in the 6th grade at Brighton Middle. You played out there at Tipton. You've been all over the place, and you didn't make the team. How did you feel in that moment?
I was really upset because, my older sister, she was in 8th grade, and she had quit softball for 2 years, and she got to make the team. And, yeah, so I was really upset because I was like, I've been working for this, and I tried really hard, and I felt like, I had some mess ups at the tryout, but I was like, all my friends made it, and I didn't get to make it, so I was really upset and torn. So.
Okay, so we had a crossroads at this point. You could say to yourself, hard work doesn't pay off. I put in all this hard work and I didn't get it. I could just quit. What made you not quit?
Well, I had a bunch of people around me. I never even had the thought to quit at all because I was still playing travel ball and I was still doing all that for my dad. That was the time when my dad started coaching for me. So I was like, I still have all this. I'm gonna go back next year and I'm gonna try it again. So I never even had that thought to quit.
Wow. Okay. So hey, that means Coach Dad, your first coach, was doing a good job. So let's talk about Mr. Michael a little bit here. How do you remember those times? Because his coaching developed you into a pitcher, a batter, and working that right side of the field. Talk about those times with Dad and how he got you prepared for this day.
Well, he was obviously my dad was he was the biggest person that believed in me over anybody. Like, he knew I could do it. He knew I was going to be good. Like,
when I asked him the question, when did you know that your baby had the talent? Day one, I'm her dad. That was literally his answer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but my dad, he's a very, very soft-spoken, like, really sweet man. Like, he never yells at me, especially on the ball field. And if he did, I would be like, why are you yelling at me? So, but he was like, I mean, he always knew I could do it. And he was like, he'd put me at every position on the field, like even third base, and I'm left-handed. And I was really tiny at the time, so it was terrifying. But, I mean, he pushed me to be the best I could be. And with that, like, he took me to the ball field, like, every weekend. We were out in the backyard. Like, he knew I could do it, and he wanted me to put in that work, too.
Now, us as believers, we know that faith takes work. And you also need favor. That's like when Mama comes in. Like you said, Mama didn't know much about the game, but she wanted you to follow your dream. But she didn't want you pitching.
Yeah.
Why was that? Why she didn't want
I think
you to
she was, like, nervous. I mean, my mom is like, oh, that's my little baby. So she was nervous for me because, I mean, she sees people getting hurt all the time, like, especially being that close to the mound. Like, I don't think she wanted me to, like, just get hurt. Like, she didn't want her little baby to get hurt. But I ended up convincing her, so.
She said you threw that first strike. I think you knew you had to throw that strike. Then she's like, I couldn't let it. But I think she didn't want you to go through the mental strain that pitchers go through. That's a lot of responsibility.
It is.
You got here at Rosemark, and they let you go through a JV season, but they thrust you out there against teams like Baylor in the state tournament.
Yeah.
What's your mindset when you're out there pitching?
Well, right before during sub-state and stuff like that, like, I thought I was going to pitch during sub-state, like, more than, I mean, I got to pitch, like, the last 2 innings, but I was really upset because I knew, like, they came up to me and they were like, you're going to pitch in state tournament, like, against Baylor, and I was like, well, how am I going to pitch against that team if you can't even let me pitch against these teams? And I was like, I'm not going to be prepared for this because, I mean, I never have pitched against a good team like that, especially as a sophomore coming off an injury season. It was extremely nerve-wracking, but once I got up on that mound and I threw, like, those first few strikes, I was like, I got this. This is easy.
You had Baylor baffled for about 4. I'm standing in the dugout just amazed that you gave your team a shot to win that game. Well, Coach Sanfratello said you got that dog in you. So you're like, give me the ball. You want to give me the ball, you better make sure I'm prepared. I'm prepared. So I see that. You got that toughness. Where does that come from?
I mean, I don't really know. I feel like I used to be the quiet little girl. I didn't want to say anything about that. My mom was like, squeaky wheel gets the oil. You got to speak up. And I was like, okay. So, like, whenever I get, Miss Addie was the one who I would go to a lot. Whenever I'd get mad, I'd go to her. She's like, go tell Sanfratello. And I was like, okay. So I would go and tell them. And I feel like doing that, it lets them know that, like, I have passion and I want it. So it kind of helped me a lot.
Well, UT Southern wanted you. How does it feel heading out there, and why did you choose her?
Well, I knew that, like, I wanted something that was, like, closer to home. I mean, it's still 3 hours away, but it was closer to home. Something small and someone that, like, wanted me. Like, I wanted to go somewhere where I was gonna play and somewhere that was, like, really wanted me there. So when I went to the camp the first time, like, I felt like I was getting, like, a lot of attention. I was talking to the players and the coach, and she told me that she was like, you did really, really amazing. Like, I didn't know who you were before this. You really showed me, like, who you are. And then I got the offer, and I took it because I was like, I felt like it just felt right there. Like, the place, it was small. Like, it felt like another TRA, but in a different spot. Like, everybody knows everybody. It's a big family there. So.
Okay, you mentioned a couple things in that answer that lead to my last question. You got attention. You were wanted, but you felt like you were overlooked. I'll admit, it's easy to overlook you when you have a Brooke Harrison in the lineup, when you have a Neely Grantham to pitch, and Lanie, she's doing her thing. It's so many headline makers on this team, but the consistent underlying driving force is him. Why? You know, do you don't mind not getting the headlines?
I mean, no, because I'm, like, obviously those big awards, like, they mean something to you in the moment, but, I mean, in the long run, like, getting those awards, like, what is that? Like, yeah, it gives you that confidence, but if you know on your own that I know that I did good. My freshman, sophomore, and junior, well, I got an award my junior year, but those first 2 years I didn't get awards, so that didn't make me any less proud of myself. I was like, I knew that I did fine, and I was like, obviously Brooke Harrison is an amazing player. I'm proud of her for everything.
I actually had to hear.
Yeah, I mean, like, she deserves every bit of it, and so does everybody else. So, like, you have to be happy for their successes, and if you want it, you got to work for it. Like, just be proud of them and work harder if you want it.
Wow, where were you 25 years ago when I needed to hear that as a high school senior? I was upset because I didn't win any awards and any accolade, and it took me 20-some years to realize that and mature to that point. Wow, I admire you even more today with that wonderful answer, saying, hey, do what you need to do. And higher rewards are looking down on you. So it takes some of us longer to understand that. But one of your rewards is heading out to UT Southern, and congratulations, Emma.
Thank you.